1956, there were 12,000 drive-ins in America. 95% of those are dead. And yet there are native Indians, the Crankaway Indians of Texas, who believe there is a spirit that lives on in these decayed temples where Americans once worshiped. They call it Wiskavanaha, or the spirit of blood, breasts, and beasts, or the 3 B's. What you are about to witness is a summoning of that spirit, a return to a part of the American heritage that has all but vanished. It's a heritage of drive-in movies, controversial movies, groundbreaking movies, the weird, the offbeat, the strange, and most of all, the sleazy. You are about to experience one of the sleaziest movies in the history of the world.
I don't know about you, but whenever I see a sight like this along the American highway, I get kind of steamed. There's not even any place where you can watch the classic movies anymore. Movies like Please Don't Eat My Mother and Gas Pump Girls and Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. They made blood-sucking freaks today. Who knows if anybody'd even get a chance to see it? Not to mention the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. At least Saw is still the king after all these years. But I'm determined to do more than that. This series will bring you 1,000 of the sleaziest drive-in movies ever released. And this project at our current rate of release will be completed in the year 2116. Because that's how dedicated we are to the preservation of the drive-in movie. Kind of makes you sick, don't it? Evening, this is where I live. Welcome to it. More important, this is the home of the most important project in American education. I'm talking about the sleaziest movies in the history of the world. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about what we're going to witness here in just a couple of minutes. Double Agent 73 is the only movie ever made that stars 2 female breasts. Now, sure, I know those breasts are attached to somebody. I know they belong to Chesty Morgan. But this movie is so well made that Chesty Morgan, that famous stripper with the 73-inch garbanzos, acts like she's not part of the movie, except for her breasts. It's like these 2 space aliens are attached to her chest and she has to follow them around so they can do their part. These breasts, see, the breasts themselves are hired by the CIA to spy on the mafia. And of course, to do that, they have to be equipped with eavesdropping devices, namely the XL-17 camera, which is surgically implanted in Chesty Morgan's left hooter. Then whenever the breast is fondled, jiggled, or otherwise massaged, it takes a picture. But that's not all these breasts can do. These breasts can actually hypnotize people. They shimmy of their own accord whenever they get real excited, and she can kung fu people with these breasts. And of course, if you saw Chesty Morgan's other movie, Deadly Weapons, then you know that these boobs can kill. We're talking about a couple of nuclear devices on this woman's chest. Now, I had 2 questions when I first saw this movie. The first one was, who would name their daughter Chesty? I mean, what was Mrs. Morgan thinking about when this baby was born? I mean, surely they weren't that big at birth. But then I found that, you know what? That's not even her real name. She's actually an Israeli actress who came over to America to be a stripper. And it's actually, she didn't even come over so much to be a stripper, because if you've ever seen her act, she just kind of shuffles around on the stage until her bra falls off. She can't really dance. And the second question I had was, how did they perform that surgery where they implant the camera in Chesty's chesties? But they show you this in the movie, see? It's such a perfect surgery that when it's over, all she needs is one little Band-Aid. Well, I mean, the Band-Aid looks little in comparison to what it's on. And then she takes it off in the shower and, well, let me show you because I've got it right here. See? Here is the actual Band-Aid used on Chesty Morgan's left bazuma in Double Agent 73. It's this one on the top here. And as you can see, it's fairly slimy. I don't know if I can get it off. You know, not what you would expect, really. You know, this guy at Gino's Topless down on Harry Hines Boulevard in Dallas, he offered me 30 bucks for this one time because this touched such a famous hooter. And then they had to shoot the scene over again, and so they used this one down here that has the blood on it. But I don't know if you've ever been down to Harry Hines Boulevard in Dallas, but it's a rough neighborhood. We got Hereford cattle down there turning tricks. But anyway, I wish I'd taken the 30 bucks now that I think about it, because this is disgusting, keeping a thing like this around the house. So, if you've been paying attention to the whole series of the sleaziest movies in the history of the world, then you know that only one person could have made this movie, Doris Wishman, the mother of sleaze, the inventor of the nudist camp movie, the queen of El Cheapo exploitation. Doris didn't particularly like Chesty Morgan, but she knew a great gimmick when she saw one, and it was Doris who came up with the idea to implant the camera in Chesty's left hooter. She didn't like Chesty because Chesty acted like a superstar, see? She showed up on the set late. She was kind of snooty. One day she went shopping all day when she was supposed to be filming. But Doris got the movie finished anyhow, and it's got a whole bunch of those unmistakable Doris Wishman touches. When Doris didn't have a place to film, see, she'd just use the same room that she just filmed in. Like one scene in an office, and then the next scene is in an apartment. She'd just throw up a curtain over the walls to make them a different color, rearrange the furniture, and just roll that camera. Or if she needed to advance the plot without spending any money, she'd have some mysterious guy just come in, slip notes under Chesty Morgan's door telling her where to go next. Save a lot of money that way. And of course, the main thing that Doris is known for is her wardrobes. Chesty wears these red platform shoes that have to be about 10 inches high. She wears a white fur that looks like a chihuahua has chewed on it, and this ratty chiffon stuff, and a purse the size of Montana. I want you to get a load of this purse. But Chesty looks like a millionaire bag lady is what she looks like in this movie. But the flick made a whole lot of money, and it made for a lot of nightclub appearances for Chesty. But the credit should go to that neglected darling of the sleazy 60s, Doris Wishman. Okay, we're going to watch the movie pretty quick now, but the drive-in totals on it are 26 naked breasts, 8 dead bodies, 1 motor vehicle chase with explosion, and you won't believe the plot twist in this thing. The double plot twist, I should say. Amazing movie. This movie is two of a kind. Good grief, don't you get sick of looking at those boobies? God dang it, I thought the most disappointing thing about the whole movie was that bomb in her bazooka never went bazooka. Now that would have been worth watching. The thing never went off, because that would have been a special effect to wait for. Those enormous mushy appendages flying up like shrapnel, wiping that vacant stare off that broad's face. I've seen more emotion on Rin Tin Tin's face. Rin Tin Tin looks better than she does, come to think of it. Great knockers, but the lady's got a face like Secretariat. Now, you also might have noticed that Chesty's voice changed from what she sounded like in Deadly Weapons. And the reason is that her acting was so pitiful in the first movie that Doris decided to dub all her dialogue in Double Agent 73. So, all right, that was the end of the artistic collaboration between Doris Wishman and Chesty Morgan's oversized tetherballs. Doris went on to even more bizarre films in the 70s like Let Me Die a Woman, a docudrama about transsexuals that features actual footage of a man being surgically changed into a woman. Yuck, that's almost as disgusting as watching Chesty take a shower. And Chesty, I don't know what happened to her. She just kind of gradually faded away, taking the largest human objects ever seen on the screen with her. And I'm sure she's out there somewhere, but in the movies, nobody's heard about her since about 1976. But that's another story. In fact, that's 2 other stories. I'm Joe Bob Briggs. That thing never has the right day on it. I'm Joe Bob Briggs, reminding you that even the mammoth memories of Chesty Morgan were eventually deflated. The falcon has molted, the fat man bowls alone, but the drive-in will never die.